Let's make the winter woods. Two things you must have for a woodland scene in winter are trees and snow. This snag fell during a windstorm near my home. The branches at the top look like little trees in their own right. I limbed the top of the snag, retaining all of the small branches in order to make trees. I planned for the trees to either look like deciduous trees that have lost all of their leaves for the season, or to look like dead trees, a spooky scene to be sure. Because I do not plan to make a remnant of a forest left behind a hurricane, flood, or volcanic eruption, the trees must stand upright. I used chipboard, air-dry clay, and white glue to base my forest. The lichen growing on these sticks will be a nice place to deposit snow. I'm worried that the air-dry clay will not stick to the chipboard well enough on its own, so I add some white glue beneath the clay and also all around its margin. I then make a depression in the clay by poking the stick into it. I remove the stick, add some more glue, and replace the stick, working the clay around so it will hold the stick up while everything dries. I try to space the trees out so that miniatures will fit between them. I work flat spots into the clay where miniatures can stand easily. These winter woods will be more for atmospheric effect than strategic placement. One thing I could do that would add quite a bit of playability would be to add a fallen tree that characters or foes could hide behind. I imagine that it will be fun to have an enormous tree on my board, although storage will be an issue. But the enormous tree must have a flat base. The clay is not strong enough to hold up a stick this size. So I use my saw to cut it flat. I should have clamped this stick in place before I began. While the other trees could be constructed somewhat haphazardly, this one requires a bit more planning. I've got to get it well attached to the chipboard, which I'll use white glue to do, and to the clay. As the clay dries, it shrinks a little and pulls on the chipboard. In order to keep the chipboard fairly flat, I weight it down with tiles. Anything somewhat heavy would do the job. I cut around each bit of clay carefully so there's not much chipboard left, although that will be covered with flocking, so the edge does not have to be perfect. One thing that I discovered after the first few trees is that my flocking did not adequately cover the chipboard's color. So painting the chipboard white before adding the flocking became a necessary step. I feel that I can safely use the knife to cut toward my hand when I hold my hand stiff so that the blade cannot reach my thumb. Only use this method if you are experienced and comfortable with the tool. I covered the entire base with white glue and then added the flocking. Notice I don't add any glue to the trees. I will be adding the snow on the trees later. use white flocking and white glue mixed together with just a little bit of water to make the snow for the trees. I emptied the glue bottle as I made this slurry, and I thought it would be a good dispenser for the snow. Difficult to get the slurry in. A funnel might be useful here. With all of the added particulate matter, the glue bottle did not dispense the slurry very well, so I used some tin snips to cut off the tip, increasing the size of the opening. I used the bottle to dispense snow on all the surfaces of the branches and trunk that I thought might collect snow. I imagined that these trees had their last snowfall a fair while ago, and that some of the snow has melted. That's the look I'm going for. The method didn't work as well as I would have liked, and I ended up using a popsicle stick to spread the rest of the snow slurry on the trees. I cannot recommend the glue bottle technique, as it was too much of a pain to be worthwhile. But if it works for you, that's great. I finished the snow by adding some Liquitex gloss medium and varnish to hopefully give a little bit of shine to the snow and to protect it so that the flocking doesn't fall out all over my board. These trees are far from perfect, but they will set the scene for a game of Frostgrave or a D&D campaign set in the winter woods. I am satisfied with these trees because they will set the scene of a winter woods. And that is the point of building terrain. It's nice if something can give you a lot of strategic options, but in this case, I'm really going for the feel. And I think they accomplish that. Here they are, set up with some other terrain by my son and ready for a game of Frostgrave. I think they give the table just the right feel. Thank you for watching.